erring towards action is going to be better than erring towards preparation. But the way to overcome fear or lack of confidence is by building momentum, taking small and tiny action. Well, hey, deal makers, and welcome to the show where it's all about financial freedom with real estate. Let's do this. I want to talk to you today about complacency. Complacency is something that I've struggled with in my earlier years, and I see it kind of rear its ugly head in other people all the time. And the problem really is that we're very comfortable sometimes. And some of you know what I'm talking about. We're in a very comfortable life. We live in a nice house, drive a nice car. We're healthy. We have a nice family. We have a well-paying job. Things are kind of taken care of. But there's something kind of gnawing at us about where we are, that we're not really growing. We're not really becoming a best version of ourselves. And I was affected by this. There's certainly during my W-2 career as well, especially towards the latter part of it. And before I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I'd say for about 3 years, I kind of plateaued and I just really wasn't, I was just coasting and drifting through life and not really knowing what's next, going to my job every single day and not really growing, becoming a little bored, but nevertheless living a nice life. And I feel like there was like a shackle around my neck kind of holding me back. And it was really my mind that was not really active in that way. And it's not like something was pulling me. I was simply just not paying attention to the idea of constantly growing. I was listening to an interview by Ed Milet very recently, and there was a conversation about, hey, you should really value the years that you have with your children, right? If spend time with your 9-year-old, because a year from now, that 9-year-old will be forever gone because now he or she will be 10. And then somewhere around those lines, somewhere in your early 20s, you stop thinking that way, right? Go now your 25-year-old self. Well, you're just going to be about the same next year to 26-year-old. It's not like your 25-year-old is kind of gone. And we kind of stop growing. Why do we stop growing? And I ask this myself all the time. And now I'm a little bit more paranoid. I feel like I want to be growing. I want to be evolving. I want to become a better version. And this is my challenge to all of you listening, watching this right now, is how can you continue growing? How can you not stay stuck in your comfortable life? Because, your growth really happens right outside of your comfort zone, right? So not in your comfort zone and not what I call the panic zone either. That's bad, right? That will stunt your growth, but it's almost always right outside your comfort zone. So what are you doing to live right outside of that comfort zone? What can you do to push yourself a little bit more? What can you put into your mind? What podcasts can you listen to? What people can you surround yourself with to kind of push the envelope in your comfort zone? What do you need to do to continue moving forward? What do you need to change in your life? What do you need to stop doing? And what do you maybe need to start doing? So for me, it was a struggle early on. I also became complacent in the pizza business, where for 3 years I was just making great money with the pizza business. This was before the recession, until it finally went bad, and I had no idea. It caught me by surprise, where all of a sudden we bounced a check, and didn't really know what was going on. And since then, my lesson is, first of all, don't become complacent and continue growing in whatever way I can. So I only mention that because if you're a high income earner, for example, and we have conversations with all kinds of different people, sometimes it's much harder to say, you know what, I'm going to now start investing in real estate because I want to be truly financial free, because you all know that you quit working, then the money stops flowing. But in order to build up that passive income, you have to give something up. And that is a high cost indeed, especially if you have such a good life. That's the challenge for all you guys and gals out there who are living a comfortable life right now, like I did. And for me, while it was not easy, it was most certainly more fulfilling. So with that being said, I want to shout out Cam on Apple Podcasts, who left us a review for the show. It's a great show. I listened to my first show recently. I'll be watching for more episodes to learn from. Thank you so much for that. If you enjoy the show, look us up on iTunes, on Apple, and give us a review. We'd love to shout you out here as well. And today we have a pretty cool show here with Rich Hamilton. And one of the reasons I talk about this comfort zone and complacency is because, well, Rich was affected by this as well. He was a very successful mortgage broker, made partner in his firm, and but then realized that he was getting complacent. And he also realized that there are other people, that the ones that he was getting commercial mortgage loans for were worth 10, 15, 20, even $100 million. And he started to scratch his head a little bit, and he decided to give up his high paying job And so this is kind of his journey on how he went from a successful W-2 employee making great money into investing in real estate, because we got to talk about how does he overcome that complacency, the fear of leaving that comfort zone, the fear of actually buying that first property, how he was creative and resourceful to get deals done, and kind of what he did to scale it a little bit, and also what financial freedom looks like. What does that look like on the other side? It's very important that you visualize what that looks like and be able to make that real for yourself. Today, in 2017, he formed Catalyst. It's an investment company, owns $90 million of retail and medical offices and multifamily. And what I love about him is kind of the practical, actionable advice that we talked about. It was an awesome conversation. He was calling him from Egypt. That was pretty cool. Financial freedom. And we're just really talking about how you get into multifamily real estate and what you do to kind of scale, and what financial freedom could look like for you as well. So with that, let's get right into the show here with Rich Hamilton. Man, so many good nuggets that Rich left us with. So a few things that stood out for me. I love what he says, we only live once. That turning point where he saw that 65-year-old coworker and he was like, I don't want to be doing this when I'm 65 years old. And really think about for yourself, like the turning points that you experience in your life, those pivotal points, pay attention to those. And maybe you're trying to avoid one of those turning points in life. Ask yourself, do I really want to be in the spot I'm in right now, this time next year? Or do I need to do something differently? And those turning points are so important. Really pay attention to them. And you talked about really feeding your mind with ideas, with podcasts, with books to overcome fear. You talked about success as momentum. I found a great way to overcome fear is just simply taking action. He's talking about erring towards action versus preparation. There's always a balance, but I find the people that err towards action, while they make mistakes, they will get to their results. And people who always prepare, always analyze, never take action, and they never get there. Therefore, if I study the two profiles, erring towards action is going to be better than erring towards preparation. But the way to overcome fear or lack of confidence is by building momentum, taking small and tiny action. I also like the fact that he says that, I don't need to know all the details because I have a team. And this is what I do love about the multifamily business is I don't have to know every single nuance of multifamily investing because I have a team that I can rely on to take care of the details. It's this whole thing about who, not how. I don't need to know all the details. I just need to have the right who on the team. And and I just love that he's enjoying his financial freedom. And it's also interesting to me that he's grappling with his own identity, with what he's going to be doing the rest of his life. And he now has the luxury to kind of figure that out. And that's what I love about financial freedom. It gives us the opportunity to think about what's next, that second half in life as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that show, and let's all do that deal. We got some opportunity coming. If you want interested in investing with us, our investing company is called Nighthawk Equity. Head on over to nighthawkequity.com and just schedule a call with us. We're starting to see some deal flow pick up, and some of the sellers are coming down their expectations. And we're also seeing some distress. So there's a great time to get into the market. It's time to learn how to buy deals, how to raise capital, and let's get that deal done. Talk to you next time.